Director Steven S. DeKnight expressed enthusiasm and hope for a potential Pacific Rim 3, even before the release of Pacific Rim Uprising. He revealed that he had developed ideas and notes for a third movie and shared them with Legendary Pictures, indicating his interest in continuing the franchise. However, he acknowledged that the fate of the third installment ultimately depended on audience reception and whether he would be involved in the project. After the release of Pacific Rim Uprising, doubts arose about the likelihood of a sequel. When asked directly about the possibility of Pacific Rim 3, DeKnight admitted that he had heard nothing definitive from the studio. He emphasized that the decision was beyond his control and rested with the executives and financial considerations. Despite the uncertainty, DeKnight expressed his belief that the franchise deserved a proper conclusion and voiced his hope for another installment, although he remained unsure about its prospects. In Pacific Rim Uprising, while the story may not match the depth of its predecessor, it does enrich the franchise's universe, delving deeper into its mythology and setting the stage for a potentially game-changing third installment. A key revelation in the sequel revolves around the alien race known as the Precursors, the true antagonists behind the kaiju attacks on Earth. Unveiling the existence of a human collaborator aiding the Precursors, the film hints at a larger conspiracy and raises questions about the extent of their influence on Earth. The post-credit scene further teases the direction of Pacific Rim 3, with Jake Pentecost hinting at a new battle strategy that involves venturing into the kaiju's dimension. John Boyega, who portrays Pentecost, alluded to this shift in focus, suggesting that the next installment might see humanity taking the fight directly to the Precursors' realm. Acknowledging the limitations of traditional Jaggers in traversing this hostile environment, Boyega hinted at the possibility of innovative approaches to combat, signaling a departure from previous tactics. With the stage set for a high-stakes confrontation and the promise of exploring uncharted territories, Pacific Rim 3 holds the potential to expand the franchise's horizons and deliver an exhilarating continuation of the epic battle against the monstrous menace. When Pacific Rim was gearing up for its release in 2013, Hollywood had high hopes for it to become the next big franchise. With acclaimed director Guillermo del Toro at the helm, a stellar cast including Idris Elba, Charlie Hunnam, and Rinko Kikuchi, and a thrilling blend of giant monsters and sci-fi robots, all the ingredients for success seem to be in place. However, despite these promising elements, Pacific Rim only managed to double its budget at the box office, falling short of expectations. The road to a sequel was rocky, with Warner Brothers initially stepping away from the project and Universal Pictures taking over. It wasn't until nearly 5 years later that Pacific Rim Uprising finally hit theaters, this time under the direction of Steven S. DeKnight. Despite the lingering hopes of moviegoers for a third installment to complete the trilogy, the lukewarm reception of the first two films has made it difficult to convince Hollywood to greenlight another entry in the series. While fans may still be holding out hope, it remains uncertain whether Pacific Rim will ever see another sequel on the big screen. With that being said, Pacific Rim Uprising faced several challenges that contributed to its lack of success at the box office. Director Steven S. DeKnight revealed that the movie underwent significant changes after receiving poor feedback from test screenings. One major criticism was that viewers felt disconnected from the world of the film, especially considering the long gap between the first movie and its sequel. This suggests that the extended wait may have played a role in losing audience interest. Additionally, actor Charlie Day, who reprised his role in the sequel, suggested that the absence of original director Guillermo del Toro also played a significant role in the film's shortcomings. Day emphasized del Toro's unique vision and talent, describing him as a true auteur who brings a distinct flair to his projects. While not directly blaming DeKnight, Day's comments suggest that the sequel may have lacked the creative spark and originality that del Toro brought to the first film. Overall, a combination of factors, including the long hiatus between films and the absence of del Toro's directorial touch, likely contributed to Pacific Rim Uprising failing to resonate with audiences and critics as strongly as its predecessor. With the potential for Pacific Rim 3 looming, fans are left wondering who might star in the anticipated sequel. While Idris Elba and Charlie Hunnam didn't reprise their roles for Pacific Rim Uprising, there's hope that at least one of them could return for the third installment. Director Stephen S. DeKnight expressed his admiration for Hunnam, noting that a scheduling conflict prevented his return for the sequel but left the door open for his comeback. DeKnight even outlined a plan to reintegrate Hunnam's character into the storyline if schedules align. This also implies the possible return of John Boyega, Scott Eastwood, and Kaylee Spenny, who featured prominently in the second film. However, Hunnam's recent remarks suggest a preference for collaborating with Del Toro, the filmmaker behind the original. In a statement to Inverse, Hunnam expressed his willingness to participate in Pacific Rim 3 only if Del Toro were involved, showcasing his loyalty to the acclaimed director. As discussions surrounding the potential cast for Pacific Rim 3 continue, the involvement of key actors from both the original and sequel films remain uncertain, leaving fans eagerly awaiting further developments. The question of who would direct Pacific Rim 3 looms large over the potential future of the franchise. While Stephen S. DeKnight, the director of Pacific Rim Uprising, has expressed his enthusiasm for another installment, his recent comments suggest that he might not return to the director's chair due to scheduling conflicts. This leaves the door open for other filmmakers to step in. If Pacific Rim 3 gets the green light, what direction would it take? While Pacific Rim Uprising laid some groundwork for the next chapter, Guillermo del Toro had a different vision for the sequel before it got scrapped. In a 2021 interview, del Toro revealed details about his discarded story, hinting at the wider secrets of the Pacific Rim universe. According to del Toro, the sequel would have introduced a tech-savvy villain who obtained his patents from the alien precursors, the masterminds behind the kaiju attacks. But the biggest twist? The precursors were revealed to be humanity's distant descendants, seeking to reclaim Earth for their survival using advanced exobiosuits. This intriguing premise suggests a deeper exploration of the franchise's mythology. Back in 2017, there were talks of expanding the Pacific Rim universe beyond movies. Stephen S. DeKnight expressed interest in developing spin-offs, TV shows, and more, envisioning a vast cinematic universe akin to Star Wars or Star Trek. While these plans never materialized due to the lackluster response to Pacific Rim Uprising, the franchise did find new life in other mediums. An animated series titled Pacific Rim: The Black premiered on Netflix, continuing the saga with fresh characters and adventures. Additionally, Pacific Rim comics and novels expanded upon the world established in the films, offering fans new stories to enjoy. Another intriguing possibility emerged when Stephen S. DeKnight hinted at the potential crossover between Pacific Rim and the Godzilla and Kong cinematic universe. DeKnight revealed that his long-term plan for Pacific Rim 3 involved integrating the two universes, paving the way for epic showdowns between Jaggers and iconic monsters. While this idea remains speculative, it showcased the creative potential of merging two beloved franchises. Even Guillermo del Toro entertained the notion, suggesting a shared universe where Jaggers and kaiju could coexist alongside Godzilla and Kong. While these plans ultimately didn't materialize, they hinted at the exciting possibilities for the future of the Pacific Rim series. Despite the setbacks, there's still hope for Pacific Rim 3 to see the light of day, especially in the era of streaming. With streaming platforms like Netflix and Amazon Prime eager to invest in established franchises, a cinematic sequel or even a live-action series could find a home in the digital realm. The success of the Pacific Rim anime series on Netflix demonstrates the potential for streaming to revitalize the franchise and attract a new audience. As the landscape of entertainment continues to evolve, there's a chance for Pacific Rim 3 to make a triumphant return, bringing epic battles and thrilling adventures to fans once again. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.